Come on, you Reds. Hey guys, what's going on? It is Talk Forest TV. We are back with Matt and Tony from AFC Red Room. So welcome, guys.
Hi guys, hi Dan. Thank you for having us on. Tony's joined us from Arsenal Fan Circle, and obviously I have my own channel, AFC Red Room, and I'm on the panel with Arsenal Fan Circle as well. But we're pleased to be here. Thanks for inviting us on.
Thanks for having us on.
It's fine. Obviously, it's the FA Cup game on Sunday. It is close to Arsenal. How are you feeling going into it?
Oh, it's been a bit of a topsy-turvy. I don't know about you, Tony, but it's been a bit of a funny week for us Arsenal fans because obviously we've just had the Liverpool game postponed, which we were looking forward to. So obviously the next game
was pushed back by a day.
Yeah. So now we've got obviously yourselves on Sunday, which is the next game for us. So I think we'll be chomping at the bit. We want to play football. I think obviously, like we were saying, kind of backstage, so to speak, about obviously losing to you kind of 2017, 2018. We won't want that to happen again. So yeah, I think we're looking forward to it. I think we'd feel confident given our current kind of form. But I don't know whether Arteta will stick out a strong team or whether he'll start playing some of the guys who haven't had much minutes. I'm not sure. But it's a chance for silverware, and he won't want to trip up. So I think he'll go strong.
Do you agree to that, Taylor?
Yeah, he seems to have a tendency of fielding a stronger side than I would field. Hopefully some of the players like Saka gets a rest, but I think it's going to be a pretty strong side more than likely, especially with all the other fixtures being either delayed or pushed back.
Yeah, I can imagine that Liverpool game being very frustrating to be pulled off. So, I mean, with it being on Thursday, with us playing you guys, soon after. I mean, bet the preparation won't help going into it. I mean, especially with the first leg being on Thursday now.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating because especially. Liverpool, a club the size of Liverpool with the resources they've got, to suddenly turn around and say, well, hang on a minute, we can't play this game when they've got infinite numbers of players to choose from.
But they sold two of them. They sold two of them that can play.
Play your youth, play whoever, but just get the game going and play. It's. I think it's really unfair. Especially at this kind of time of the day, because obviously fans making plans to go down to the game, it's a lot of upheaval for fans as well. I think sadly big clubs do tend to have a bit of leeway with the authorities, and that shouldn't happen. I think was it Leyton Orient who had to forfeit their game in earlier rounds? It just seems like, again, it's the whole inconsistency thing, isn't it? Not just with officiating on the pitch, but obviously off the pitch now, the decisions that are being made by the governing bodies are also really inconsistent. So it's just a bit of a mess, I think. And Klopp will obviously be very happy because I don't think they'll probably play until Mane comes back and the AFCON's finished. So they'll have a nice break, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'd be one of them ones by the where you think how they got away with it. You never know, but I mean, in a way, it'd be a bit of a breather for you guys. I mean, after you losing to Man City, I mean, bet you guys felt really disappointed because I was saying on Saturday that you guys should have won.
What do you reckon, Tony? I know you got strong opinions.
Yeah, it's frustrating because Pep said we were a better team. We were a better team in the first half, and Zaka gets a stupid penalty, and then Gabriel gets with 2 yellow cards, and we lose. So the team was looking good, being a nice bounce back game against Liverpool, but now we face you guys this weekend. So hopefully things go our way.
Yeah, they'll definitely be. I think they'll be chomping at the bit to get a result, put things right, and move on from it. But yeah, the City result was hugely disappointing because the way we played was fantastic. We were the better side for probably 80-90% of that game. I thought we defended immensely well, even with 10 men. It's just a couple of really poor decisions from the referee. And again, I know the old anti-Arsenal bias kind of comes through, but it's just a shame that refereeing kind of takes the limelight over what was a really good Arsenal performance. But I think as Arsenal fans, we're really pleased with the progress we've made this season. To go from getting smacked 5-0 to now, really being the better team on the day and scaring the life out of them. I think we're feeling quite positive. But looking to the Notts Forest game, I think we've got to be cautious. Because these are danger rounds. Things can happen. The magic of the cup. You have history of beating us before. I think you've made a decent defensive signing who's eligible, haven't you? I think, was it Steve Cooper? Steve Cook, sorry. Yeah. Steve Cook, yeah. Is it Bournemouth?
Yeah.
So he'll be raring to go for you, I'm sure. And obviously, you've got a couple of good forward players there as well, I can see. So
yeah,
who are your danger men, do you think, Dan?
Oh, obviously you've got to be looking at with our fullbacks at the minute. We do play a lot more with our fullbacks since Cooper came in. Obviously, we've got Sink, who's can play out wide or in the number 10. We've got Ben and Johnson. Obviously, we signed Keenan Davis from Villa, so he will give us that bit more of a different approach to what Grabban does. Grabban's goal scorer, as we all know. Most of the players across the pitch are really, really good. Defensively, Wall and McKenna, I've always said it, they're the best centre-back pairing in the league. And with Cook coming in, it will just strengthen that defensive side of things, if I'm being honest.
So do you think you're going to go out focusing on being defensively difficult to beat and hit us on the counter, maybe? Is that the way you think you'll set up for the game?
I don't know, depending how Cooper does it, because, since Steve Cooper came in, he's took the squad and literally just gave us that bit more of a plan A, plan B, plan C. To start with, he did play 3-4-3, and then when we played, I think we were Preston at home, it went 4-2-3-1, and Preston didn't know what to do because they were expecting us to be a lot more play football, but be a lot more defensive solidity to actually playing attacking football.
Yeah.
So it depends on what sort of team we put out. We can play 3-4-3, 3-4-1-2, or 4-2-3-1. So
it sounds like you're quite flexible in terms of your tactics, which is good. So it's going to be quite difficult, do you think, for Arteta to maybe guess what you're going to do? Yeah,
and even in games, in games this season since Cooper been in, I said Bristol City for the obvious one. We were playing 3-4-3, losing 1-0. They brought Figge and brought Martin on, so it went 4-2-3-1 straight away. They brought grabbing off for Taylor. It's a big call to refer because Taylor not scored for a good 6 or 7 months, and brought Lolly on and he scored 2 goals in 40 seconds. So I'm won the game 2-1. So it's been very. It's something you don't know what you get from Cooper, but the changes he does do at the minute is proving to be a massive positivity.
See, that's where we've struggled, I think, and Tony will probably back me up on this. In that, I think the issue we've had with Arteta historically has been substitutions and not making the right ones at the right time. So it sounds like Steve Cooper, your manager, has got that down, and he kind of knows who to bring in and when, and he's not afraid to make changes to make things work, which is really good. I'm just looking at your top scorers and top assists, and looking at Lewis Grabban, he's obviously got 10 goals this season so far, and 4 assists in 24 games. That's not bad.
He's doubled last season already. Grabban has.
Yeah.
It's scary with him because we sort of scored goals last season, but we've gone from having Chris Hughton in charge, where we'll be happy. Hughton will have to take 1-0 wins and enough to Cooper, who's to install them goals back into us.
Yeah. Do you think? With Grab, because I don't really know the player. Is he kind of more of a poacher? Is he an aerial threat? Can he do it all? What's his?
He's a poacher. In the penalty area. some games if you put it on his plate, it was just hard ball. But then he scored the more trickier goals. So, I mean, as well, so he's a goal scorer. We outside that, but it won't work for a team. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Johnson goal against all, but he just literally pulled up play after him, and it was on his own, and it just found a matter of space, crossed it in. Johnson brought it down, and he just tapped it home. So Grabbins, he will put the shift in, but he's a goal scorer as well.
So he doesn't need much of an opportunity to put it away. He's not going to do an Aubameyang and miss it from 2 yards out.
Oh, yeah.
You put it in front of him, he's going to stick it in the back of the net.
No, enough, yeah. I mean, how do you guys feel about the Aubameyang situation? Because I always thought Aubameyang is like your leader, but with what's happening at the minute, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on it?
I'll let you go, Tony. I know you've got a lot to say about Aubameyang.
Yeah, I would have never gave him a contract. I was one of the few at the time, and thinks you don't give a 31-year-old striker a deal, especially with COVID, especially £100,000 raise. And he never fit the system. Last year, Arteta kept going with a system that didn't work with him. That's a lot why we finished 8th. We seen last December and January it worked with Smith Rowe and Lacazette in there. And finally, Uba gets in trouble. Here comes Lacazette back in there. And we go on a winning run. We've been scoring goals, shooting lots of goals. Offense has opened up. And I think we're a much better team without him.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Tony. I think with Aubameyang, Dan, he's historically been a fantastic player, and he carried us for quite some time. I mean, obviously, the FA Cup was largely down to him, no doubt. And he scored a lot of goals for us, so we're very grateful as a fan base to him. I think for me, like Tony said, his age now, I think we should be looking at replacing him anyway. Yeah. The captaincy, we don't understand. I agree with Tony. I don't understand how he ever got the armband. I think it was kind of handed to him as part of his contract deal to say, we'll give you this raise and we'll give you the captaincy, if you stay with us or if you come to us or whatever. He's never been a good leader. He's media shy. So when we were having a really poor run of results and we were on bad form, he kind of shied away from the camera. He never really wanted to come out and do media duties. He went into a shell and never really came out, and he didn't want to front anything. He didn't want to take any kind of criticism or anything like that. It then went to the younger guys like Emil Smith Rowe, etc., to stand in front of the camera and do post-match interviews and stuff like that. That's not a leader, But as soon as he started scoring again, or results were going our way, he'd suddenly appear in front of the camera, all smiling, and there's Aubameyang again. And it's just he's never been that kind of leader at all. So I think we've got other players in the squad, and quite a few now, thankfully, that we could probably look at. The Ramsdales, the Tierney's, the Gabriels. The Ramsdales. We've got a good squad there now to pick from in terms of leadership, but Aubameyang, isn't it? So I think we're all looking to kind of sell him. I think we're sniffing around a good few options on the transfer market at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see what we do.
Hopefully we find a Spanish side to buy him.
Yeah, well, Newcastle are meant to be sniffing around him, aren't they? With all their money. Probably one of the few that could afford to pay his wages.
Yeah, I just wish it was with the buy clause instead of the option, and just you have to buy him if you want to loan him.
Yeah, take him.
I mean, you touched upon Arteta already. I mean, do you feel like that he is starting to get what he wants in terms of the squad and trusting that process, as so many Arsenal fans say?
I think so. I think it's been a bumpy road. I'm fairly on the spectrum of being extreme to one end or the other. I'm kind of in the middle somewhere, and I've had my moments where I've definitely thought Arteta's really struggling here. He's not going to be the guy I absolutely fully trust where he's going with it. I think I've kind of got to the point now where you can see the progress. It's clear. It's very, very clear as to what he wants to do with the team. He's gutted the squad and built his own team. You can see the focus is on youth. You can see the style of play he wants to implement. It's taken a while to get there. He's not perfect. He's still learning. So that is an element that as fans can be frustrating sometimes because there are some decisions and things that he doesn't do that we'd like him to do. But you know what? He's getting us there. I mean, we're sat now 4th in the table. We're playing really good football. We've just gone and played out of our skins against City. We've had a 10 or 11 game unbeaten run earlier in the season with a couple of kind of iffy results in between. So you can see where it's going, and I think it is positive. I think we just have to be a bit patient. Personally, I think it is going in the right direction, and I'm definitely in the Arteta in camp. For me, long term, he has to finish within the European spots this season. He has to. Otherwise, it undermines all the progress this year, I think. So that's the real key for me, is as long as he finishes within that kind of top 6, spot, I think he's good to go for next season. What about you, Tony?
Yeah, I'm kind of opposite of you. I'm about a quarter tank left of fuel left in the gas tank. I think a lot of the things are in spite of him. Like last year, Smith Rowe comes in. Wasn't his choice, is because of injuries. Then this year you have a Boomerang finally doing 2 or 3 things to get in trouble where he had no choice but to strip him of a captain's band and bench him. Then all of a sudden we come alive. It wasn't anything he done tactically. You got all these fast players. We finally started playing all these through balls, which I've been calling for forever. It's nice to see our speedy players, especially down the flanks with Tamiyasu, Tierney, Saka, and Martinelli. So that way I like what we're doing. I think we should have been doing it a long time ago. Just Arteta seems set in his ways and slow to adapt. But I'll give him and Adu. I'm not sure which one has been doing a lot of the recruiting and getting the players in, but I'm very happy with this summer and last summer who we brought in. Players like Gabriel, Ramsdale. It's nice to see Ramsdale doing what he's doing because all the fans are like, "You're stupid. Why are you spending all this money on this player? He's been on relegation sides." Well, he's almost a team leader now. Had a bunch of clean seats. He's at 9 or 10 clean seats. So one of the best signings. But overall, with Arteta, for me, the jury's still out. Just his technical decision sometimes doesn't make sense. Substitutions, which we were talking about earlier, you hardly ever see one before 70th minute. Then you see the second, third one with about 5 minutes left, which make no impact on the game. His in-game management and player management needs a lot of work before I really have faith and confidence in him. He's here. We're in 4th, so can't complain too much, but I still really don't think he's the right man for the job.
That's fair enough. If you think about the Ramsdale thing, actually, Dan, did you see the comments with Aaron Ramsdale with your new defending maestro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always in the comments what he made about him.
Yeah. He had a lot of positive things to say about him, didn't he? He wished him well.
Yeah.
How do you think your transfer window's going, Dan? Because I know you look busy, don't you?
Yeah, we've been really busy. I mean, since like Murphy came in and people emphasised it, like they are wanting to go for youth. I mean, I know Cook's an exception, but with what people have been saying about Cook, it would give that more of a leadership experience that we do lack. Not saying that we haven't got leaders because Wall's a leader, but Cook has that sort of know-how. He's got Warner, he knows how to get out this league and he knows what he needs to do. Keenan Davis, he will offer that sort of like different approach to how we do play, especially say like if we do have teams that lack pressers, Keenan Davis will offer us that bit more of a, if we need to go route one or something, Davis will offer us that sort of different dimension that I've always said that Forest have missed for a long while. since probably like when we had Elliot Muller or that Henderson at the club. So obviously we've been in for Jed Wallace at the minute, which getting a lot of fans quite excited because he is quite a dangerous player. So and we are after a player for Toronto as well, which has started to appear. So it's quite a positive transfer window. I'm just hoping now that I've always said that we do need a left back, we need like a winger, and probably if we do get another striker, I won't have a thing against it because we already got 3 first team strikers. So, and I mean, if we get all the players that we need to, I'll be quite happy with this transfer window.
I was to say, it looks like your offer for Jed Wallace, I don't think it's gone down very well, has it? Because it seems to me like they kind of come back and say it's a derisory offer and off you pop, come back with a better one.
Yeah, I think at 1.2 million, I've just been reading just before it came in air.
Do you think that's way too low, or do you think that's about right? Do you think they're kicking up a stink for nothing, or do you think that's a fair?
I'll be honest with you. I mean, he's out of contract in the summer, so I'm surprised. I see where Millwall are coming from, that they're wanting as much money as they want, but if they're just going to reject it, Forest can quite easily go in and say, here, here's the contract, they want to sign in summer on free.
Yeah.
So I see what Millwall's doing, but then would you risk taking the money, not taking the money and him leaving, or taking the money and letting him leave? So
that's the dangerous game you play, isn't it? I suppose when you've got players coming out of contract, you've got to be quite clever with how you approach it.
Definitely. I mean, how are you guys thinking about your transfer window? I mean, I know there've been a lot of Nathan Miles going to Roma.
I think that's pretty much a done deal, Dan. I think it sounds like he's pretty much. I don't think there's any offer. I don't think there's any option to buy. I think it is just a purely loan deal. So I think he'll just go there. And to be honest, I think that's a bit of a silly decision right now because obviously we've got Partey off at AFCON. You know, that leaves us with, is Sambi Lokonga off as well? Oh, no, he's Belgian, isn't he? So he's Belgian.
No, he's Belgian.
So no, he won't be. So no, Sambi will be with us, Xhaka will be with us, and that's pretty much it, isn't it, really, in the middle? So it leaves us a little bit light, you know.
We're looking at Gamirez, so if we get him in, I just wish we actually sold Niles when we could have got 20 million for him. Instead, Arteta kept holding on to him, saying he had a place in the team, and really never played him much this season or last season.
I think it's timing, isn't it? It's timing, I think.
I think you guys were our first striker from Florentino, aren't you? From what I was hearing yesterday.
Vlahovic, yeah. But he doesn't, I don't know whether it's true or not. I don't know whether you've heard any different, Tony, but he doesn't seem to want to actually come and play. Everything I've heard is, he's not keen on an Arsenal move. And
that's not
true, just move on.
What I was reading from this morning, and it's like, he's kind of keen on it, but his agents and his team want him to go to a bigger club. Don't believe in the project.
Yeah.
And like you said, trying to raise up the prices for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Spending that much money, 60 million euros, we could have had Martinez from Inter Milan the summer for 65 to 70 million. If they didn't sell Lukaku, I still think we could have probably got him and gave him Lacazette or Aubameyang. But to me, it's a little bit of quite a bit of money for a 21-year-old that just had one good season. So I like the player. I think we need a young player like that. But
Tony, I don't know if you've seen the videos on him. I mean, I know it's a different league, so you have the risk of that adaptation period. He's young. He has only had one good season, but having and videos, you know what it's like with compilation videos. You can make a player look as good or as bad as you want, can't you?
Yeah.
But I mean, from what I've seen, he looks physically very strong. So he looks quite well adapted physically for the league. He's good in different types of scoring situations. He can score with his head. You know, he's obviously good with his feet. He can hold the ball up well. You know, he's a good finisher, a bit of a poacher, aerially good. So he has all the hallmarks to be a fantastic. He's probably the most ready because we've been in for Isaac as well, and he's a bit younger, and he's not quite the finished article. Whereas I think Vlahovic is probably the closest we'll get, apart from, say, a Calvert-Lewin or an Ollie Watkins, who's already Premiership ready. He's probably the closest kind of foreign player we'll get this window, I think, in that position. And if he wants to play for us, that kind of changes things, because I was very much like, if he doesn't want to come, forget him, move on. We want people who are hungry to play for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think he kind of wants to. It just sounds more like it's his agents that are putting the deal down right now.
Yeah. That's always the way, isn't it, with agents? Just money, 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 money.
Yeah.
The money man.
I mean, going into this game, I mean, quite a few games last couple of years between Forest and Arsenal, they've been quite a goal-scoring game. I mean, I know you guys put 4 or 5 past us quite a few times. I mean, we put 4 as well. So it's not for neutral. It'd be a splendid match for goals, even for a football bet. So
yeah, I think you're guaranteed to get good football. I think, like say here, the games have been, there's been goals in it, so I don't expect it to be a tight game. I think there'll definitely be a few goals in this tie. Obviously you'll want to go for it for sure. Especially, you'd be given some positivity from, that 4-2 win that we were talking about. You can do it. You can beat us. And like you say, really, I think though we've won 5 of our 6 last meetings with you. So again, there's probably a bit of positivity on both sides of the fence. But it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be fairly open. I think both teams will want to attack for sure. Yeah. Are you confident? Do you think the Nottingham Forest kind of fan base are confident going into this game? How are you approaching it, do you think?
I think majority of the fan base will all be quite optimistic. But it's magic of the FA Cup, to be fair. You never know what you're going to get. I know we lost since Hooton left. We lost 3 games in 18. So, I mean, for the Championship, that's in the promotion form. So, obviously, going into it quite confident, obviously keeping still that belief and that positivity that we have that. So, I think going into it, we've got to be positive, but there's always that danger side of things. Obviously, with your squad and your quality, and you've got to have that bit of cautious to say, we've got to be on our A game to actually defend well, and actually, but when we do get chances, that we've got to take them. I mean, how are you guys going into it against us? Do you feel positive?
What do you think, Tony?
Going into it?
Yeah,
I think we've been on a pretty good form. I think we got a lot of confidence the way we played City. Like I said, Arteta likes fielding strong side, so I think most of the fans are pretty confident going into a game. We'll like our chances, like the open play we've been going with, more attacking, been shooting around 20 shots a game, scoring more goals, because first of the season we couldn't hit the back of the net for anything. Now we're scoring, so there's a lot of confidence around.
Yeah, I think like you said, Dan, it's the magic of the cup, isn't it? You just never know what's going to happen. I mean, obviously, we're playing you at your place. So, you've got a little bit of a home advantage. Obviously, your home crowd will be well behind the team. Our away record hasn't been fantastic in the league this season. So, although we're obviously playing well at home and we're on form and we're scoring lots of goals, our away form hasn't been absolutely fantastic. And it's tough. When you go into these stadiums of the cup run, the magic of the FA Cup, there's always that the nerves. I think players in the cup always get those nerves. It's never straightforward. So I think we're confident for obvious reasons, but I think we have to be a little bit careful as well to not get carried away. Do the job. Try and get forwards, because you can beat us. You absolutely can. So
I mean, there's one thing that I always say, that Forest and Arsenal are a bit similar in certain things. I mean, there's quite a few Arsenal fans I know, and we all seem to come into a good agreement that we always either start well or fade off, or not start well and
Kick on.
kick on, yeah. And the one thing this season, it kind of evident on Saturday when you guys played City was the referee. I mean, we do get some shocking referees at City Ground, and I mean the referee on Saturday didn't really help you guys at all. So
You could say that.
yeah,
Could say that.
yeah,
Blimey, yeah, that's a podcast on its own. That is.
yeah. And I think a lot of football fans.
Let's not revisit that one, should we, Matt?
No.
Yeah. If you guys have a result for Sunday, what would it be?
Do you know what? I think as an Arsenal fan, I'm always going to back the boys, but and I'm always going to try and go for a positive result. I'm going to try. I think I'm going to go for 3-1. But what do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I was going to go for 3-1 as well.
Oh, interesting.
What do you think, Dan?
I think there'll be goals in it. I think I'm standing back off. I think it'll be a 4-3 or 3-2. Which it's one of them ones because normally on the channel a lot of fans say 2-1. The 2-1 seems to be a favourite result. So I think, especially with it being Arsenal, I think it'd be a 4-3. But knowing our lot, we say 4-3 and it might be a 1-0.
So you're going for a goal fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, I'd be curious if Leto's back in there as goal or for the selling. We'll figure out if we're going to sell him if he's not there this weekend.
True.
Yeah,
very true. Yeah, I wonder if we'll see Holding and Mari.
I hope not.
I'll say, I know Holding came on the Saturday with Gabriel getting sent off, so obviously it'd be interesting to see who you will line up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it, Tony? Because I think I'm in two minds whether he's going to go strong and just try and get the result, as cleanly as possible, or whether he will give people a run out, whether he will say, okay, well, we'll stick Holding and Mari in there and give them some minutes, get them some match fitness and rest a couple of players. It's going to be interesting because, Pepe, again, he could come in and start the game. I'd expect Leno to come in and replace Ramsdale for this because otherwise, when's Leno going to get any minutes and get a chance to play? So I fully expect Leno to get the start this weekend. Given the transfer status, Tony, what do you reckon with Lacazette up front? Do you think Nketiah and things like that, or do you think they'll just rest him and sell him?
I think
keep him injury free.
I think with what's been going on, I think we'll probably play Lacazette and Nketiah both, because I think Balogun will be going out on loan.
Yeah.
I think Uba's will be going out, and I think we're going to bring at least one striker in. It still wouldn't surprise me if we get two strikers this window.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Do you think are you quite a physical side? Do you think you try and use your strength, or is that something you've got in your team at the moment that you can maybe use? Or
I think with Davis coming in, I think it will difference that more physical up front. Defensively, I think Cook coming in, it will give a lot more of an era person. I mean, Worrell and McKenna, they are good in here, and they're not physical enough. I mean, they are winning headers are really good. I mean, they're a bit more for ball playing defenders as well. So, but defensively, we are quite a physical team. I mean, we have quite a lot of pace in the team as well, which it can be quite frightening for most teams as well, because Johnson got pace, Spence got pace. Obviously, unfortunately, Martin's injured, but he has some pace, so which is quite nice to have. To be fair, I mean, but
do you think you trouble us then down the wings?
Yeah, I mean, it depends who you play left back. I mean, I know you guys have Tierney, who's quite a just well there. You always got Forest at left back, isn't it? If I'm right.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And obviously he is quite rapid as well. So I think that left-hand side, right-hand side will be a very good battle on Sunday. Because they are quite a with Spence and Johnson, they are quite a very fast-paced players. So I think that will probably be the key battle, if I'm being honest with you.
That'd be interesting. That's really interesting, yeah, because that's kind of been a big strength of ours is pace down the left hand and right hand side, because you've got Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli. You've got the likes of Kieran Tierney and Tavares are obviously quick. Tomiyasu, our right back, isn't particularly pacey, but he's got enough over kind of say 20 meters to kind of have a short burst. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they cope with your rapid players.
Yeah, I mean, left hand side, our left back been a bit of an issue this season because we sort of with Bron at left back, who's not the best. We've got Matt Lowe in, it's that Spence and Lowe's been like with our wing backs been very, very good this season because they're both pacey and they offer a lot. And just shame that Matt Lowe got injured because we do rely on Spence a lot more. So Colback's been filling in that left back or left wing back. But if I'm being honest, Colback's not really a left back for me. He's more of a like a little Jack Russell in centre midfield. It's like
a little terrier nipping at your heels.
Yeah. Him and Yates are like little Jack Russell's like in there. So
you don't think we'll get much time on the ball then? You think he'll press us quite hard and not give us a lot of time on the ball?
Yeah, I think it depending on like if we're playing that centre midfield, because Garner just like to get stuck in. If Colback plays centre midfield, I feel like he would pressure. Grabban quite good at pressing. So and obviously we got a little power ground called Ojo, he's quite a technical midfielder to be fair. We signed him in the summer, and when he has played, he has been quite good with the ball at the feet.
Has he just not played much because of injury, or is it just because you've got a number of players there who can take his place and rotate?
If I'm being honest with you, start of the season, it was mainly Yates and Garner. But since Cooper came in, Jack Colback been like a revolution. Like a lot of people saying that Colback and Yates won't work, but them two this season just been like standout in centre midfielders. Seem to be like doing a lot more things that we wouldn't expect them, and they just been like making us tick. And with Roger, it's just been unfortunate because with the form of them two, and obviously Garner's picking up, it's just not been unfortunate not to get the game time, but it came from the power ground lead, so he's just been adapting in this game. Yeah. So, but when he has featured, he played like 4 times, and if we're being honest with you, not looked at a place.
Fair play.
But he has been in and out of the squad, so it has been good, and especially they tried it with Yates, Ojo, and Garner one game, and Yates and Ojo looked quite good, but Garner didn't look too good in that number 10 role, so it's been quite a what do you call it? Experimenting with them.
Yeah.
But I think whoever does play, I think they'll be up for it.
Yeah. Do you think you'll go? Will you go with pretty much a full strength side then? Do you think?
I think we will. To be fair, I was saying earlier that I reckon we'll go full strength, and I reckon we'll have a couple of youngsters on the bench. Obviously we got our under-23s are quite exciting to say the least. We've got Will Swan, we've got Dale Taylor. He's only just turned 18 and he made his debut for Northern Ireland already. And he made his debut when he was 15 for Linfield. But it's just been
exciting.
Yeah, it's just been unfortunate with injuries. But he's that sort of striker. I would love to see him being on bench someday, actually.
You never know. He could do a Charlie Patino, come on and score. You never know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never know. Well, I certainly didn't expect that when Patino came on. Did you, Tony?
Nah.
No, I didn't
You,
expect
Dan?
it.
Nah, I didn't. To be
No.
fair, I didn't even know about him to when he scored. It's
Yeah,
just
he's a
been
bit
that,
of a club favourite, I think, within the academy and stuff. He's quite a popular lad, I think.
yeah. The only change I could see is there is playing Eddie Overhath in goal. It's not really played since the Middlesbrough game, so I think if this probably going to be a change, it'd be Eddie Overhath in goal instead of Samba.
Yeah. If you got when's your next league game after this? Because if you not got a lot of times, Millwall, isn't it? About a week later.
Yeah, we got Millwall, then we got Derby at home, then we got Barnsley 3 days later. So we had our home game against Barnsley called off on Monday with COVID. So
Right.
we not played since Huddersfield at home. So that would have been a week on. Well, been 10 days before Huddersfield and Arsenal.
I'm just looking at that. That was 30th of December, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you should be fresh.
Should be.
plenty of energy to cause us problems.
Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you for Tony and Matt for coming on.
No, thanks for having us, guys. Thank you for
Yeah.
having us, Dan. Yeah, it's really been a pleasure.
And thank you for coming on as well, Tony.
Yep. Thanks for having us on.
It's okay. So I'd like to say thank you for watching, guys.